Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon to our friends across the pond. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Welcome to the Ticker Highlight Show. Reminder, this is where we have a meeting of the minds between myself, Andrew, Hans, and Leisha. We each give our favorite stock and maybe one that we would get rid of today. And then we end up picking a trade. Should be a fun one. Now, before I dig in, though, what I'd like to remind you is that we are running something very special. I'm giving away $250,000. And how am I doing that? Just about everything we sell here at Option Pit is just $1,000. So if you are a Leisha fanatic like I am, then you can get Option Shopper for $1,000. You can get Zero DTE for $1,000. You can get Trade Zone for $1,000. If you are a Andrew fan, Rip Zone, Weekly Profit Cycles, Capital Gains, even Hans Turbo Income, and of course, if you love Mark as much as I love Mark, then you can get anything that I am a part of as well for just $1,000. Exclusions are Alpha AI and Pro. Now, we've managed, I got on the phone, talked to Vaz, and we've even managed to add in, you cannot get game plan, but you can get trade to close with me and Vaz for just $1,000 as well. Those are all on the order form. This ends on Black Friday, but the sooner you buy, the sooner you're in, sooner you're making that money back. And if you're already a member and you're near the end of your subscription, you can extend for a year for just $1,000 as well. So this applies to renewals. If you're renewing at a higher rate, you can lower that to just $1,000. I would invite you to click the link or that they're going to post, or you can call us 888-872-3301. That's 888-872-3301. So give us a call, and we will be glad to help you out. If you got questions about it, the team is there to answer. It's a great group of guys, and they're always there to help. Again, you can just call them 888-872-3301, or you can click on the link that Dave just dropped in chat and take advantage of all the different offers that we have. Special situations, trade to close, trade zone, rip zone, capital gains, Zero DTE, weekly profit cycles, option shopper, turbo income, Delta Strike. These are all incredible values at these levels. Take advantage. All right. So, again, take advantage. And now let's take a look at what we're at some of the names. And I want to start by kind of addressing what we're seeing in the overall market. We're having another up day. We're higher than the highs from Friday, which is a good thing. That I believe. You should stop me if you think I'm telling tales outside of school. But being above the high from Friday, that's a little bullish.
It's good if you're long.
What?
Good if you're long.
Good if you're long. And then you can see the 50 days all the way back at 67.12. We might be heading there before we get a test. What changed? Why is the S&P up 1%, but the Russell 2000 up more, and you've got strength in the Qs? Why are we seeing this pop? And the answer, and we talked about this on Friday, is the change in FOMC. We had seen odds of a rate cut fall to 30%. They're now back at 79%. That rate cut over the course of 3 weeks went from 98% certain to 30% certain. No shocker. We get selling. And then we get this big pop in expectations. And what do you see? Markets are rebounding. This is, a pretty bullish twist that could pull us out. I continue to be kind of concerned a little bit about crypto as could cause some temporary rifts for the market. But again, I don't think crypto is big enough to create like an '08 type of event. But it could definitely cause some problems for a day or two while markets kind of figure it out. While some of the forced selling that would play out in a crypto crash, works itself through. You could see a 1 or 2 day like event that would be pretty volatile. But I don't think it's systematic in the same way that like if the AI bubble thing were true, that would actually take things down. We are seeing the VIX, over the course of a couple days, pull itself from near 30 to now threatening 20 again. VIX futures and VIX futures term structure, we have what we call kind of a partial backwardation. That means the curve itself, December is lower than January, is lower than February, is lower than March. That's called contango. When you have the cash market trading above the futures, that is called backwardation. When you have the cash market kind of in between in all this mess, I'll call that a partial backwardation. And what you need to know when you see this is that it implies wild moves. We're in a position where we could see the VIX go back to 30, or we could see the VIX go back to 15. Wild moves is what you should expect. So the big moves we're seeing daily in the S&P 500, you should continue to see daily for the time being. That is what this tells you. So what stock am I looking at this week? And I know I've been harping on it, but it's a great stock just coming off, almost hitting the 200. I mean, it got within a stone's throw of kissing the 200-day moving average. And that's Amazon. It's been, after hitting a new all-time high this month, it threatened its lows for the quarter within, a couple of weeks. So I think this one has upside. We're seeing it is up today about $5, but Amazon with the options getting cheaper again. And I believe it having potentially formed a bottom. Yes, I know we've got kind of this mess of moving averages right above it, but I do think there's some upside there. On the downside, the one maybe I'm looking at and saying maybe it's time to call it a day here, and that's General Electric, because we had just a terrible Thursday, but it's not like Friday was a lot better for GE, and it's not looking so hot on Monday either. It's had such a nice run over the last year, and an even better run over the last 2 years. It's almost tripled at the top. You got to wonder whether some people are going to take some profits here to go buy some of the stuff that is, really has been discounted over the last couple of weeks. So my two are Amazon and General Electric. So let's circle it over to our own master of turbo income. He is our head of income trading. He is Hans Albrecht. Hans, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Oh, you can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Thought you couldn't hear me. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday. I think it's going to be an exciting week. If you were on our show last week, Mark and I did the NVIDIA earnings, and I said, I don't believe this rally. And we ended up having one of the biggest reversals of that kind in decades. Like, it was literally an absolute collapse on those earnings. Now, I do feel like there's been a bit of a washout. Mark mentioned the VIX futures are not sounding the all clear, but I feel like we've seen 60, 70% sell-offs in some of these high betas. So I agree the coast is not clear, but it's starting to get a little bit interesting again. If you want to sort of look at that as a bit of a washout. And Google, of course, eats the world. So that was my pick last week. It's up another ton to all-time highs. So Happy about that. But this morning, what have I got for you guys? I've got my bullish one is Goldman Sachs, right? So I think Mark talked about IWM doing well this morning. Lower rates are going to help. And we've basically seen a bit of improvement in profit margins in mid cap, a little bit more than small cap. So, but I think that sort of trickles down, as I've been talking about for 5 or 6 months. That's going to kind of trickle down into the balance of the economy. So I like it here. I like this idea, and what it means is a little bit of broadening, and broadening in the face of potential rate cuts, which I think are going to keep coming. Jobs are going to be weak, and profit margins that are fantastic. Employment numbers, is insofar as we've got decent data right now, are okay. GDP is okay, and so I think that's kind of a positive backdrop for a company like Goldman Sachs, which stays away a little bit more from the small lender, which may be under pressure, and is more into IPOs. What do we got these days? IPOs and AI. We've got this whole deal cycle coming back. It's not if, it's happening. You've got more, activity. That's good for them. You've got more trading. JPM, GS, they make fantastic profits from trading, generally speaking. And they're really, as I've sort of mentioned for many months, they're one of those users of AI. So finance, I think, can really use AI. It sort of uses that low-hanging fruit in a sense, right? So software as a service and these tools that are very easily accessible versus, you have to buy a manufacturing process full of robots. That's a little bit more involved, but it's very easy for finance companies to find efficiencies, and I think that's starting to work into companies like banks like Goldman and investment banks in particular. So I've been staying away from the smaller ones, commercial real estate, a little bit further away from that kind of stuff. So I love that for them. Visa is the one I'm not as bullish on, right? So I think, generally speaking, if you look at Visa, MasterCard, they've been looking rather weak. If you compare those to American Express is more higher, sort of wealthier, a little bit, more sort of the upper crust, as you might say, the people who are spending money, and we know that in this environment there's going to be more of that divide. So I think what the credit cards are showing you is that divide is widening in a way, if I can sort of extrapolate a little bit. And I think I think that's an area where there's that potential for a little bit of softness based on many consumers who aren't as healthy, and some of the issues that Visa may have with people not paying their credit cards, as well as I think one very, very big thing as we see AI accelerate, they are going to face that transactional layer through stablecoin, through various layers of transaction enablement, I guess, through AI and through various venues. I think that's going to be a threat to them, a threat to their profit margins, and so I think that's a very real threat. They have a massive moat. They're not a monopoly, but they have a massive moat based on them having this incredible infrastructure, and I think that weakens over time. So I'm a little less positive on that one, Mark.
Yeah, well, it's in a death cross. That's usually not a good thing. So I like that. All right, well, let's kick it up to our own Viking of volatility. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is Andrew T. Giovinazzi, our director of education.
Well, I have to say, it's last week I was looking at Apple as the stock I did not like. And this week I'm not, because this is what I thought. Like, Apple was a flight to quality stock. And Mark, I think, nailed that last year going into December. Remember, everybody was piling into Apple, and it hit a high. And I think it might be topping out a little bit. And I think volatility there is very low relative. But as of right now, it's holding up. So I'm, as an idea flight to quality stock, I guess Google is the new one, because dollars are piling into Google now like crazy. But sitting on Apple at this point, with the low volatility, I thought it would start to unwind now that it looks like the Fed's going to cut rates, and then Apple would no longer be a flight to quality stock. But it's up today. So when you want to short a stock and it's up today, I'm less excited about that one. Now, my other one is going back to my MAGA thesis here, and this is Cal-Maine Foods. Now, I would like to use my fingerprints on this, but it doesn't trade a lot because it pays a huge dividend. But I think all of the food stocks will do better. They are all at like very close to 52-week lows. Is it because the SNAP payments are going to go down? I think the market is already pricing that there's going to be, some kind of cut to these payments. But, these stocks are down 40%, 35, 40% for the year. So I think there has been an expectation of that going to happen, and it's now happened. Again, option prices in here pretty cheap, but Cal-Maine, they make eggs, basically just biggest egg maker in the country. Although the chickens make the eggs, they just sell them.
Yeah. Well, and it is the egg bowl this week. Don't forget.
So this is my thought here. I'm adding this. I'm not adding it to Flash 7 because it doesn't have a fingerprint. But thematically, like Tyson is doing well today. Vicky says they're closing one of their largest beef processing plants. But
Andrew, Andrew, have they reached out to you for your eggs? Have they reached out to you for your chicken eggs yet?
My chickens are not old enough for eggs yet. I'm hoping I got another month, apparently, in chicken land. But they're big, and at least the last ones are still alive. But anyway, Cal-Maine Food pays a big dividend. And again, very, very low option prices, very, very low, year low. So again, my picks are also based on the premiums are relatively low with volatility in the market relatively high. Apple vol looks relatively low. Again, that flight to quality thing, and Cal-Maine option volatility looks relatively low as well. But I like this one on the long side into the end of the year. There we go. As the anti-SNAP thing starts to unwind.
I like it as well, Andrew. All right, to wrap things up and tie things in a bow is our own Queen of the Candles, your queen in mind. She is Leisha J. Leslie. Good morning, Leisha. And
good morning.
How you doing? What stocks are you looking at here?
My initial sell was Hood, which is kind of finding a little bottom here. Not sure yet. This could be spinning tops and maybe trade lower. The overall market's pretty strong. Qs are really strong this morning. So I'm going to take a pass on Hood lower. It did trade lower initially from where I talked about, but right now I wouldn't buy puts in there. My long was KDP. And it did kind of pop a little bit after I wrote about it. I still think this could possibly rally to, its previous highs here, 30-ish, 29 3/4, 30. Not my favorite though. Not my favorite, but not a bad quick trade idea. Options are pretty cheap in there. If anyone wants to make that trade, use the close below the 21-day as your stop loss. I think you'll make money there. I think, do you want my favorites? Do we want to go over all of them or just my favorites?
Yeah,
yes, I do want. It's my favorite part of the show.
GE, I would wait. We're sitting on the median line. Could get a bounce, could get some sideways action and take that leg lower. Questionable right now where GE is going. I do like Amazon higher. It's held the 200-day once again. Looks really strong today. You get a close over that 50-day, you're going back up here, 242. I do like Amazon. I also like Goldman. Held once again this really, if you're a follower of Goldman, put that 249.87 support level in there. Coincides pretty well with my channel. Look at how many times Goldman held that support on my channel there. I like Goldman higher. You're going to get a little resistance with these moving averages, but beautiful hammer. I think Goldman's going to trade back up here, 826. Hans, I forget your short. Sorry.
Visa.
Oh, that's right. Visa bounced off the bottom of my pitchfork. I would wait. And it's looking a little stronger. Not my favorite. I think there's a better trade. This may trade up to here and then roll back lower.
So wait for about 335 kind of thing.
Yeah, with these moving average. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kind of a little strong here. You probably could short it back up here. Andrew, you're calming. I would wait. I like that it's testing the support again, once again. Wait for a change in trend. Wait for that price to show you it's ready to rally. That's what I always tell my members. Right now,
thought it was last week and not this week, so I got you.
You don't want to catch a falling knife.
Nope.
You want to see some positive green candles, a change in trend candle to show you, your MACD's rolling bearish today, although it is a little bit of a lagger. You want to see some bullishness before hopping. That's my rule. But definitely keep it on your watch list for sure. Sorry, what was your other one? Apple.
It was an Apple short.
Maybe. Once again, everyone that follows, put this little downtrend line in here. Definitely only goes back till October 31, but there's some resistance here. You see Apple pop back over 274, 275, possibly go long. If not, maybe some puts. You don't see it close over that 275 area. Some puts may take it back down here, 260.
It's the
not
Mag
for
1
me,
now.
not a short here. Pardon me.
It's the Mag 1 now. The Mag 7 has become the Mag 1 Google. So
Yeah,
maybe that's it. It's sucking all the air out of the room.
Vampire.
it's amazing.
It's the new vampire.
Look at that chart. Oh my goodness.
It is unbelievable. Like these guys are, they're just taking over. I mean,
They are.
The Gemini is sick. Nano Banana is sick. Like they're literally, if I were Sam Altman, I'd be going, OMG, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't he have to raise a bunch of money and whatever? Like they could.
Yeah.
So that's where
that
we
was
are.
a good call by market early in the year when Google was in it was the cheapest. It was the cheapest of the Mag 7. I remember saying that many times.
I'm literally analyzing I want to go back, just run a study as sell the biggest market cap, buy the cheapest market cap. I'm going to need a year. I'm at the end of the year, I'm going to run this, sell the cheapest market cap, buy the most expensive among those 8 names, see where they take you. So
Well,
Alicia,
look
which
at-
one did you
just
say
real
you
quick-
like? Yeah.
Real quick in Google. Just remember the breakaway gap is a really powerful, as long as the Google maintains that gap, 311, 310, it's going to trade higher.
Their revenue, the thing, it's getting close to my 330 target, but their revenue spokes are off the chart. Like if you were to look at, if I had to own one chart for the next 5 years and literally didn't look at it, this could be the one. Like they are just literally, they've got fingers in everything now. And that very important thing, which is trust, right? So as everyone's going to go, okay, well, these guys have been doing it for 25 years. Why would why go with OpenAI when I've got the real deal right here? It's going to be pretty epic.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you were saying, Mark?
I mean, so of the ones that we put in there, your favorite is probably Amazon or Goldman?
Amazon or Goldman?
Yeah, I do like Goldman. So in Delta Strike, we actually on Friday put on Amazon AMZU, which is the levered version of Amazon. because I
like
was
it,
trying to
Mark.
find a less expensive way to go long.
Sure.
And because one of the problems with Amazon, is that it's $230. Goldman 800. I'm not sure there is a levered Goldman ETF. Nope, doesn't appear so.
I would like to see Amazon begin to trade over these, over this resistance that it's, just bumping up against right now.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it feel like the Amazon has sort of missed all of the AI hype, Hans?
It has, and
It really seems like it slid away from it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Black Friday. They're going to report just bananas sales. If the stock was rallying into Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I'd be saying maybe it's already been priced in. It clearly is not, and everybody seems to be absolutely bearish the economy, and I don't think the economy is nearly as bad as people think it is. Certainly not at the top end. And so Leisha, I like Hans, or no, Amazon was my idea. Mark, I like my idea. So I'm going to go with the December 5th, 2:30 calls. They're about $3.45. And because, yes, you could hit you got a little resistance here right at kind of this 227 mark. But if we get another push through there, I mean, it's going to pop right to 235. And as Lisa said, up to maybe 242. So there's some upside. I generally like the market. Again, I'm a little worried about crypto here, but I think you've got an opportunity here in Amazon to turn in a double or an easy double with how bad that has been kind of kneecapped over the last few weeks. So I'm going to tap that in.
You know what happened, Mark? It's a bit like the last report. They kind of went, it was not like that, because the last report, they knocked it down because it's sort of boring. It's boring AI, right? It's not exciting. Yeah. Google and Microsoft kind of went, sort of grabbed market share. And then they sort of did the same thing again. They ran it up on the earnings, and then they run it down on the boringness. But really, they're kind of the cloud of the world, the cloud of the sort of broader business world. So they're a little bit maybe more cyclically connected to the broader economy, whereas the other ones are a little bit more like, corporations are going to spend money where they have to spend money. But I think that creates that opportunity again, where everyone goes, well, this one's boring, but the numbers were incredible.
Oh yeah. And they're only going to get more incredible. I mean, we're moving toward an environment where there'll be small individual retailers and Amazon and Walmart, and that is it. Maybe Home Depot. I'm just watching the entire economy kind of fold into two specific companies, right? All right. So
don't forget TJ Maxx.
And there'll be time for TJ Maxx
discounters.
Indeed.
Dollar stores.
So I'm going to drop this in chat. There's the trade. And again, I want to remind you guys of what we're doing right now. Again, you can get anything we sell on this list, just Alpha AI Pro and Game Plan, and you can get an opportunity to join for just $1,000. So take this opportunity to pay yourself for Black Friday and buy yourself something nice instead of someone else. It's a great opportunity to jump in. And again, everything we sell, always 2 weeks, no questions asked. So go out and get yourself Option Shopper, get yourself Delta Strike, get yourself Turbo Income, and sprinkle in a little bit of capital gains, and you will be a pretty happy camper.
A stocking, you know what? That's a great stocking stuffer, Mark. You give somebody
is.
the gift of tools that help you make money. I mean, that is awesome. So if any of you know, you have maybe a dad that loves to trade, you know, this is a great opportunity to throw something under the tree or in the stocking.
Absolutely, Hans. There's nothing.
It's probably
I
our
don't know.
best.
You might be, Hans, giving someone the gift of you. You might be. That'd be a huge stocking. I'm just saying. I've given you the gift of Hans.
6'4".
There you go. So
Definitely our best sale of the year.
absolutely. Click the link in the chat, or give my team a call with questions, 888-872-3301. I want to thank you all for joining us here on the Ticker Highlight Show. So for Andrew T. Giovinazzi, our Director of Education and the Vicar of the VIX, and Hans Albrecht, our Director of Income Trading, and of course, your queen and mine, the queen of the candles, Alicia J. Leslie. I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, everybody.